Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of NC-17. My name is Josh, and today we have actress, scream queen, you name it, she's done it. We got Miss Chanda Rawlings with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. So glad to be here.
Oh yeah. This has actually been set for a while now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been really looking forward to this episode too. So
so excited. Me too.
so before we get into the movies and all the entertainment stuff, kind of take us back to when you were a child and what really started your journey to where you are today?
Oof. Um, hmm. I was a bit of a quiet kid. I think I've always had an interest in being on stage and acting and everything. But I came from a background that was we grew up in like serious poverty. We didn't have running water, that type of thing. So we were limited on the things that we could do as far as extracurricular activities. So I would always like go outside and like create my own scenes and climb trees and just be basically a tomboy when I wasn't singing or dancing or anything like that. Um, so that kind of contributed to who I am today. It definitely carries over.
Oh yeah. And kind of like growing up in that, because trust me, I'm right there with you. You know, the struggle was real and is real.
Yes, yes,
You
very
know,
much so.
but growing up in that, I mean, with my own personal experience, I can say that it kind of makes us more humble as we got older
Yeah,
because a lot of people don't realize what they have they're taking for granted, and they got to live that life, I guess.
absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah. uh so getting into film now, I do just a little bit of research. It was a happy accident for you.
It was.
Yeah. So you were supposed to just help with a trailer for Bloody Summer Camp, and Dave Kerr called you a couple of weeks later and was like, "Hey, the part's yours if you want it."
Hmm.
Just a little bit of research. It's a whole lot, but just a little. uh, but in doing so, I mean, it is. I will tell you, you got a stellar career. I've seen quite a few of your movies,
You.
and I am definitely looking forward to a lot of the other stuff you got coming up. But so just kind of walk us through your experience from just doing the trailer to finding out that he wants you to have the character to filming it and all the way to like the last day.
Oh my gosh, man. So when he called me up, because we went to high school together, um, and he called me up and asked me if I would be interested in like helping out for this thing because the person dropped out. And I was like, well, I have no experience. Like, are you okay with that? And he was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. It's whatever. I was like, okay, well, let me think it over a little bit. Of course, like 20 minutes later, I called back and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely doing this. Like, it's something that I always wanted to do. And like, I got so tired of being in the same hustle and bustle every day, 9 to 5. I was so bored. And like, I was praying for something just to change, just to find some type of fulfillment because I felt empty at the end of every single day. So when that came up, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Whether like it's a thing or not, like I'm gonna do it and it's gonna be fun. So I prepared the rest of that week. He sent me the script, I think that same day or the day after. And I walked through everything, had no idea what I was doing. I was just like, I need to remember lines and become this person that I'm not, but I'm really excited to be here and do this. Um, so then we get to the camp, and I'm just so excited to be there, like so thrilled. And we do it, and I had the best time. Like I was working with other people that had no experience, some had a lot of experience, but it was a good mix of folks to be around, and I just fell in love with it. But I was like, this might not go anywhere. I'm excited just to be here. This is a cool experience to have. And so we get to the end of it. about a month later, he calls me and says, I can't imagine anybody else in this role, so it's yours if you want it. And I immediately was like, yes, I'll take it. I will make whatever work the way it needs to. And basically, it just kind of went from there.
Oh, yeah. And you got to work with, in my opinion, probably one of the greatest. You got to work with Felissa Rose. You know, I've actually was able and lucky enough to meet her for the last 2 years, and I get to have more conversations with her in person this year because she's coming back to the convention here in Michigan. But
Oh, awesome.
she's the first movie I remember front to back and back to front, Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah.
You know, granted she didn't have a lot of talking, but still,
Yeah.
you
But
know,
I think that's the cool part of being an actor. Like, you can have such a monumental role with very few words. Like, I think that speaks to how amazing she is because she's amazing. I absolutely adore her too.
oh yeah. Uh, but Bloody Summer Camp, you play Kimberly.
Mhm.
I want to say that was my first introduction to you, and from there it has just gone up. You like even in the smaller roles you've had, if any, you never took a step back. You just kept excelling, and I remember going back. Like I still revisit Bloody Summer Camp from time to time, you know, and I remember seeing like your first introduction, and I was like, "Damn, that girl can act." You know, uh, I know that on every set there's shenanigans.
Yes.
Was there one specific story, or was it just a bunch of shenanigans that behind the scenes just kind of made the cast come together more as a cohesive unit?
On Bloody Summer Camp,
Yeah.
um, it was a lot of us were giving up our weekends. So, and as you've seen, like a lot of the scenes, a lot of people were together. So, like, we got to hang around each other pretty much every weekend for a while. And then COVID hit. And I think just us having to keep in touch while we worked through everything, it just it worked out so well. We ended up being like a little family.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, so I've never rated. I don't know if you've seen any of my episodes or any of my reviews or anything like that. I've never rated Bloody Summer Camp. I normally rate 1 to 10, one being worst, 10 being best. I
Mhm.
purposely did not rate it because I wanted to rate it with you here.
Oh my God.
So I gave it a 9.5. You know, it had everything. It had it had your violence, your blood and gore, just it had everything. But what really made it like stick at that 9.5 was the acting, cinematography, and the music. I mean, come on. The music is
Yeah,
phenomenal.
they freaking nailed it.
Oh yeah. Uh the next thing I saw you in was One of One.
Yes.
You know, that was a good movie too. I
Mhm.
liked it, you know. And trust me, if you see this, this is like all horror stuff, but from time to time I will indulge in other things than horror. And One of One was one of the ones I watched. Excellent movie.
Mhm.
You know, I think it was in my opinion, I think it was more along the lines of a not a comedy, but more along the lines of a like a social outline of what life could be.
Yes,
Does that make sense?
it does make sense. Yeah.
So on that set, first, how did you get the character, and how did you prepare to be that character?
Um, Actually, the director reached out to me on that one and was like, I wrote a role and I really honestly think that you'd be perfect to play this role. And I was like, okay. Um, and I read the script and I was like, this is so different because up to that point, I had only done horror films. So, like, reaching into, the dark comedy was a little bit different, but I was really excited for it. And I prepared for her because, like, she's the confused storyteller, which, kind of my personality sometimes. So I loved just playing with kind of like improvising behind the scenes outside of my script or whatever. Just playing with her just to see what I could do with the character. And she was a lot of fun to do.
Oh yeah. Uh, I actually have rated that one because I gave that one a review. Uh, but since then, I've watched it a couple more times, and it's gone up to a 9. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing. Uh,
Yes.
and you actually worked with Kay Leahy.
Yes.
Yeah, I finally got her name right. I swear, even when she was on, I got it wrong. I was like, "What is wrong with me?" But you got to work with her a couple times. You know,
Hmm.
Bloody Summer Camp, One of One, and the Killer Camp Out 2.
Yep.
You know, all three, which are phenomenal movies in their own right, because they're all three different stories too, which is awesome.
Yeah.
uh, so when you get cast in a movie and you see you've worked with some of the people, do you feel a little bit more comfortable because you now know at least one or two of the people?
Yeah, most definitely. It definitely helps with the cohesiveness because I know what to expect from their acting styles. And it makes it more comfortable because like with me, I have anxiety. So like knowing what I'm going to expect with certain things is like a huge comfort for me. So being around people that I know and trust makes the process a lot better. But I do enjoy meeting new people too, though.
Oh yeah. So the next movie I've seen, like I said, I've seen you quite a few of your movies. The next one is The Legend of Crickfoot.
Oh
Now there was a lot of characters that stood out in that movie. Your character stood out for one specific reason. Can you tell me what you think that reason is?
yes.
Yes. I was like, you know, out of all of it, you're just laying there in the house. I was like, that's a badass chick right there. Uh, so Bone Johnson kind of gave you guys do what you want.
Hmm.
How did you come up with that? And what was you thinking when you came up with that?
I actually ended up just sitting down with a glass of wine because like they basically kind of gave me just the smallest outline of like you need to be a character that's in love with Crickfoot. And that was pretty much like that was the outline. And I was like, okay, so what am I gonna do? I was like, I sat down with a glass of wine and like I brainstormed a little bit and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna shoot it and see what happens. And out of me comes Margarita Brown. So I just kept adding on to it because I was like, well, what would I do in a scenario where I've been trying to catch like a cryptid for 10 years with hot dogs? So like I kept building on it. So that was super fun to do.
Oh yeah, I mean that movie was phenomenal for the because I like the documentary style of movies too. Uh,
Yeah.
but this one was, like I'm sitting with my wife. I was like, I'm about to watch The Legend of Crickfoot. She was like, "What's that about?" I was like, "A cryptid that likes hot dogs." And she looked at me and was like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" I was like, "Everything is wrong with me." But as I was watching it, I'm like, I in my head I'm thinking, but like, wow, these people are, they're going for it, but in their own ways.
Hmm.
And then my wife looks over and she's like, "You still watching that?" I was like, "I actually rewound it and started it again." So I watched it twice in the same night.
Wow.
But that scene stood out to me, and I was like, that I had to talk about that because that to me was phenomenal. It was genius.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
It's that was definitely when I watched it, that was definitely in a moment of where I was like, they are serious actors, but they know how to play too, you know.
Hmm.
And my hats off to you. That
Thank
was
you.
phenomenal. So,
Thank
and the
you.
fact that I was like, damn, I'm not gonna lie, after watching it, I did go eat a hot dog, but whatever.
Like it's like kind of a rite of passage. You watch Crickfoot and you eat hot dogs.
But that was a phenomenal movie, and the entire cast did great. But
Yeah.
that that scene literally came out of nowhere, and it tossed me. I was like, like literally, I'm like, I was not expecting that. So uh, all right, we got to talk about the next one I seen you in, Killer Camp Out Part Two.
Yes.
Uh, so I'm gonna let you kind of explain this one a little bit because I gave it a rating, I gave it a review, and I think I've talked to almost everybody that's on the that was on the cast. So, so in your experience, in your own words, what was the whole just everything about with the filming?
All right. So basically, that story follows a troubled group of people to a camp to try to heal them of their issues. So like there's somebody with sex addiction and anger issues and what have you. But little do they know, not very far away, a group of other people have summoned a demon back from the dead, the previous killer from Killer Camp Out Part One, and he starts killing campers again. So it is a very fun movie and a very eclectic group of people with all of their problems.
True. uh, I'm a big fan of practical effects,
Me too.
and every movie you've been involved with pretty much has had practical effects. And Killer Campo, I think, had multiple ones that weren't used in the same film other than like Killer Campout.
Hmm.
Yeah, you see people's heads getting cut off and stuff like that, but there were certain things about Killer Campout that kind of took me by surprise, especially with the practical effects.
Hmm.
Was there a specific effect that you liked so much and it just kind of brought you back to why you fell in love with the art in the first place?
There was two that stood out to me in this one. Um, Spoiler alert for anybody watching. Just FYI, if you want to watch it, just skip a couple seconds up. Um, mine, one of my very favorites was the outhouse where it gets blown up. We were actually got to witness that happening. There was like a crazy amount of tannerite involved, and like we were like way across the field, and somebody like shot it. It was pretty freaking cool. Like just the whole scene leading up to that. So I really enjoyed that one. And the other one is my death. Like it honestly made me fall in love with just I love practical effects like you too. Like I'm such a gore whore. I will like sit there and like just admire what people are doing because like the creativity that goes into it is absolutely amazing. It's an art in itself. But like having my guts like pulled out of me, like that was so
Oh yeah.
freaking cool.
I will say though, like your character, and by the way, you played Stacy. I forgot to also mention that in one you played Suzette. I gotta keep remind like I said, scatterbrain.
Okay.
But there are certain moments, like every single person in Killer Camp Out hit a certain moment that just was like future Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer. And the one liners, especially from Tim Hell, but the
Yes.
you know, I mean that dude was the luckiest dude on that entire in that entire movie, other than the yeah. But I want to say that what really caught me by surprise was the subtle snarkiness of certain characters.
Hmm.
Because some of them didn't want to, some of them flat out was just like F off.
Yeah.
But then some of them was like, can you please F off? And I'm like, you get these characters, and I'm like, wow. Like you got the nice people, then you got the ones who aren't nice.
Yeah.
But I will say your guts being ripped out was a highlight for me. You know,
Yes.
I was like, I was hoping one person got it. No offense, but I was like, okay, I mean, I'm happy. uh, So again, I've seen quite a few of your movies. I'm sorry, I'm going to mention that a couple times.
No
The
worries.
next, the next one I only saw it once, and it wasn't like on the best of days, but Crust.
Yay.
I'm a big fan of Sean Whalen from People Under the Stairs, and I can only hope to God to have him on this show one day.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, he's amazing.
oh yeah, you play Wendy White.
Yeah,
Uh, so that's a fairly newer movie, so I don't really want to go into too much detail. But if you want to kind of give a synopsis and how your character plays into the movie without spoiling anything.
absolutely. All right. So, Crust follows a child actor that has just kind of let his life go. He owns a laundromat. He's not really worried about stepping back into the limelight at all. Well, an unfortunate event happens that brings about a sock monster that he kind of accidentally brings to life. And of course, this sock monster is cute and cuddly, but it also kills people. So, what brings me to this particular laundromat is the attention that's brought by this unfortunate event that happens to him. Plus, they're trying to reboot the series that he was on when he was a child star. So I'm there trying to get to the root of all of these things that are happening at the laundromat. So that's kind of how that ties in.
Uh,
Fantastic movie, by the way.
yeah. Like I haven't rated it yet, and I'm gonna wait till I can give it a full review. But I will tell you that it's up there.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but the way it was filmed, to me, some of the best filming I've seen, at least in the last decade.
yeah,
And that says a lot because I've seen a lot of movies.
yeah.
But I will be 100% honest with you. I don't, you know, I don't see anything bad with like any of the movies you've done because you're phenomenal. That's the guy's honest truth. And I want everybody to know this is mine and Chanda's first time ever talking.
Yes.
So but I will say that you have seemed to not only elevate yourself in acting, but any project you've been involved with has been elevated to a certain standard, at least in my opinion.
Oh my God,
And
you're gonna make me cry.
not my intention, but
Thank
it's the God's honest
you.
truth. Oh, you're most welcome. uh, don't go away though, because I still wow, that was a perfect segue into something coming later. But I've seen two more things you've been in. Uh, well, I seen a trailer for one of them, but I did see the other one. So the only ones.
Yes.
Uh, now again, like I said earlier, small parts, but you still elevate. You know, and hence why I consider you a scream queen because you hit those notes seamlessly. You know, and your name is Hiker. You're just a hiker.
Yep.
I don't want to go into too much detail, but just again, in your own words, if you can give a synopsis and what it was like just to be on that set for the amount of time that you were there.
Oh, that was an amazing experience. I have been around Jordan, who's the director, before. He helped out with cinematography on The Slasher Nurse, actually. So I'd met him before. So again, it was one of those like situations where I was quite comfortable. And my scene partner, who plays a ominous character, I'll just go with that. Him and I were in another film together where we were actually a couple. So it worked out really well because it was like people I knew. It was a really, really hot day, but like everybody was just so cool. It was a very chill, laid back, you know, set. And I had a freaking great time doing that.
Oh yeah. Uh, so this is I hope comes out as like the right way of saying it, but it's meant to be a compliment. Your scene in that is reminiscent of the first person killed in Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, so I can compare the two. And I was like, you got that from way back when, you got this now. And I was like, it's almost perfect. It was awesome. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that is a really, really good movie.
oh, yeah. Uh, okay, so the last one I have seen you in is Go Away. Excellent movie. Did not see a lot of the stuff that was coming in that one.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm when you can shock me or surprise me, I'm happy.
Yes.
You played Danielle.
Hmm.
So, in your words, the filming and just like, because you worked with Felissa Rose again,
Hmm.
you know, so just kind of walk us through that whole scenario of what it was like filming and when you were reading the script and you were finding out about all these twists and turns and what was that like?
Oh my goodness. All right. So I have to start with me reading the script for the first time. For me, it's like this, I don't know. I make a thing of it. Like it's like reading a book for the first time. And it's one of my most enjoyable parts of acting at all is reading the script for the first time because you get to see all the twists and turns. So I'm sitting outside again with a glass of wine. That seems to be my thing. I'm sitting outside and I get a good ways in and I'm just like screaming. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And then like I'm flipping, I'm like, oh
Oh
my,
yeah,
yeah. My neighbors definitely heard me like yelling a couple times because I was like, oh my gosh, I am so like absorbed in this story. But like just the twists and turns and like so much is unexpected in that. It's just so rich and so good.
oh yeah. Uh, I will say this: I 100% thought I knew the ending, and I was so wrong. Like normally, I'm like, okay, this is what's gonna happen, and it happens. I was like, all right, so this is gonna happen, and then I was like, that is not what happened. you know. And I had that bewildered look in my face, and my wife goes, "What's wrong?" I was like, "They just tricked me, and I
Yeah.
don't know how to feel."
I feel like Dave Kerr films do that a lot. Like he loves to put a good twist in there and I freaking love that about him.
Oh yeah. uh, I will say though, like that top to bottom cast was awesome.
Hmm.
The scenery was good. The music, like everything about this movie. You know what? I'm gonna give it a rating. It got a 10.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's God's honest truth. The thing about what really surprised me was when these twists and turns were happening, it was like the characters drove it to where you were thinking something was going to happen.
Hmm.
And then, bam, I was like, I get angry with myself because I'm like, yeah, this, no. But before we get into the movies that you have coming up, I'd like to take a moment and kind of give you the floor so you can just talk about your experiences you've had and just if there's anything you want to say to your fans, the people you've worked with, or anything like that, because you are an awesome person and I want to give you that
Thank
time.
you.
So
Thank you so much. I'm trying not to cry over here. I'm all kinds of emotional tonight. As always, I want to thank everybody that's supportive of any project that is indie, not just mine, because a lot of us do this as that is our passion. It's not a hobby. It's not like just this thing. It is a true passion, and we thrive on support. And this community is absolutely amazing for that. So I give a big thank you to everybody that is so supportive in this community. To my fans, thank you. Oh my God, don't cry, Chanda. Get it together, sis. To my fans, thank you so much for believing in me, because a lot of the time I have a hard time believing in myself, but you guys absolutely keep me going through the ups and the downs of life. And I'm private, but there's a lot going on. So those messages, anything that you guys say that like, can encourage me, I truly, truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, because you guys help me get through some of the really, really hard days. To my co-stars and people that I've worked with before, again, thank you for believing in me and working with me and collaborating with me and helping me to learn and grow. I don't care what experience level you are, whether you're more experienced than me, you've been in for like 10 years, or like this is your first set that you're on. I learn something from every single person I come across. And I am so appreciative of that, because we all have something to learn from each other. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I'm like super emotional. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't be sorry. It's all good.
um, but yeah, I'm just, more than anything, I'm so incredibly grateful to even be here, like in front of you guys right now. It's an absolute dream come true and more. And I feel absolutely blessed to just be here and be a part of your lives, and for you guys to be a part of mine too, because you give me so much life. And thank you so much for that. Oh gosh.
You're gonna get me emotional. No, you're good.
It's been a rough couple weeks, baby.
uh I do want to say on a personal note, because when I'm watching movies, I'm not watching movies just for the entertainment. I'm also watching it because it's like you guys are bringing characters to life for me to enjoy. And in essence, I know that a lot of these characters sometimes are, deep rooted in something personal with people, you know, and in a small, weird kind of way, it's kind of like we're getting to know who you are just by
Hmm.
what you're doing. And I'm grateful and I'm thankful for what you do. So,
Thank you.
you know,
Thank you
and
so much.
I do want to mention that come November, when Not There starts, woo, I'm a fanboy out because there's a lot of people I know.
It's
Nah,
gonna be
it's
a lot of fun.
oh yeah. Uh so let's talk about some of the good stuff you got coming up.
All right. So
Yeah.
let's start with Not There. I am so excited to be a part of your film. Thank you so much for having me along for the adventure. I'll
Uh,
be playing Bobby Joe in that.
yep.
And Bobby Joe is a bit of a Southern girl, kind of like myself. So I am going to have a good time playing her. Like you said, the cast is stacked. We just, oh, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun.
Oh yeah. Now with Not There, there was part of me that was like, it has to be split. I gotta have some people who I know are established, and I gotta have the people I know who are either they've been in a few things or they're just getting started.
Hmm.
And I've said this to Shannon a couple times, Shannon Atkins a couple times. It's
Yeah.
like all the newer people can lean on the experienced people, you know, and kind of just be like, hey, are these marks being hit properly and stuff like that. I have no doubt in any of the cast. I think the entire cast is going to do phenomenal.
Yeah.
But Shannon and I both had the same agreement that when you, she read Bobby Joe, she was like, Chanda, and I was like, either you're reading my mind or you're in there and you're picking it or something, But then when you sent in the audition, I was like, Bobby Joe said, "Don't next."
I have to send you my outtakes from that too.
um, I do want to say though, I am very appreciative that you accepted being a part of it, and I'm humbled because your talent, have you just in general, have you on set is going to be a welcoming sight for my first film and for a lot of the other people's first films.
Thank you.
because trust me, I've reached out to all of them and said, check out their movies because they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
appreciate that.
all right, no problem. I appreciate you. Uh I would be amiss if I did not mention. I'll just give you a name and I know you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. Lucy Van James.
Lucy Van James. Oh, I'm so excited about Lucy Van James.
Oh yeah.
Um, I get to bring her to life next month this time. Yeah, it's almost a month away. We start filming Black Sheep. Um, I am beyond excited for that.
Oh yeah. Again, without spoiling anything, just kind of give a very brief synopsis and we'll leave it at that because I don't want to spoil anything.
Yes. All right. So, Lucy is near and dear to my heart already. She is an aspiring actress that you really get to see kind of like the behind the scenes of what goes on. And a lot of the stuff she's been like, she goes through, I've been through as well, except in like a much more grand gesture in her way. Um, but where Lucy and I differ is she absolutely is going to get her revenge on the people that have done her wrong.
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah, she's the black sheep of pretty much everything that she touches. So, I'm excited to see all of this play out. I'm excited to work with all of the cast too, because oh my gosh, I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna be fangirling too.
I mean, it
So
does have a
I'm
stacked
super
cast.
excited. Yeah.
Uh, I do want to say again, phenomenal in what you do, but that poster for Black Sheep is absolutely badass.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and is the Indiegogo still going?
Unfortunately, ended already.
Okay, it ended. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, Sorry about that.
No worries. I was hoping they're gonna do like they were gonna extend it or do like a finishing funds, but I'm not sure where everything is, whether they're gonna do a finishing funds or not. But that'd be like at a later date if they do decide that.
Oh yeah. Uh, okay, so we have to talk about another one. I've seen the first one and I'm looking forward to the second one. Actually, there's two sequels you're going to be in that I'm really looking forward to. Return of the Corn Zombies.
Oh my goodness. That one is also very near and dear to my heart. Um, I talked about this I think last week on the other podcast I was on. It was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had. Just the cast, the crew, the whole, just the experience from start to finish was absolutely amazing. It is very dark. It is a very dark film. It more so leans into the drama side of things because, like, you're coming in after the corn zombies have been established for a little while, and it follows us survivors trying to find, a safe space called the homestead. And it's, oh my gosh, just I got to watch the film with my castmates 2 weeks ago, and it is just so good. It is so good, and I'm so excited for you to see it, especially if you're looking forward to it. Man, like, you are in for one hell of a ride. It's so good.
Uh, I mean, so I've seen Attack of the Corn Zombies 20 times.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
not an
so good.
exaggeration. Oh yeah. You know, uh, I am definitely. You also play Edith in that. I got to keep remembering to say what characters you play.
Okay.
But I think because I've talked to a couple people who've been on that one, and they share your same enthusiasm and sentiments that it is a darker film than the first one. Which,
Hmm.
let's face it, that first one set up a good formula,
Hmm.
and for anything that comes after that, I'm there for it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the second one, I absolutely loved the first movie of this one, like so much so it's in my Hall of Fame. We're talking about Crackoons.
Oh my gosh.
Now that one right there, I'm like, first off, you get to work with Justin Martin, who I think is another phenomenal talent.
So much.
You know, and I guess on uh, uh the Killer Campout, he was teaching people how to twerk.
Yes,
You
there's video of that.
oh, I got the Blu-ray. It's on there. But that I Crackoon was phenomenal in a aspect as it was so over the top, but
Hmm.
it came together so seamlessly. And I'm not even gonna lie, that's one that my wife finally sat down and watched. My wife don't like horror movies,
Hmm.
but she heard me laughing some, and she was like, "Oh, you're watching a comedy?" I was like, "Sure." And I mean, it was phenomenal. So for Crackoons, because I know it was uh, kind of like announced fairly recently.
Hmm.
Uh, how did you get cast for part two?
Um, Brad Twig reached out to me and said that he had received the script and he wanted me to read for a part because he thought it would fit me well. So I was able to play with the character a little bit, and he liked it.
Yes,
So
I
now
have
I'm
to.
here.
I have to say though, like your your character's name is badass,
Yes,
Miss Lady Sweet.
it yes. It is going to be another one of those roles that you're like, what is Chanda doing? Like, but I am in love with her already. She is over the top, and like I love her so much, and I'm gonna have so much fun playing with that.
All right, that is one I'm definitely looking forward to seeing,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be good. You got a couple other ones coming out that I'm again is equally looking forward to seeing. The next one is Cracula.
Yes.
You play Becky. Okay,
Yes.
you're with you, Tim Howe, and all the people involved with this movie. I'm sitting there thinking like, this is going to be one of those movies that is definitely going to exceed my expectations just by the talent that's involved.
Hmm.
But kind of walk us through it a little bit. I mean, you can give a synopsis on it because the trailer I believe is up on YouTube. But give a synopsis and kind of how your character plays into it.
All right. So it's basically two crackheads accidentally wake Dracula up and he feasts on one of them and becomes addicted to crack. Um, where he is located is a property that belongs to the main character, who I play his girlfriend. And basically, that kind of like ties us into the story because the property belongs to him. So it that's how it goes. But it's
Uh,
basically Dracula trying to take over this town.
one crackhead at a time.
One crackhead at a time.
Sorry, I had to. But that looks like it's going to be a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Uh, I'll mention one more. Actually, I want to mention two more, but because you got a lot coming up. Out of all the ones that we haven't spoken about, though, which one are you particularly kind of looking forward to out of the ones we haven't spoken about yet?
The ones we haven't spoken about. Um, there's one that I did back in, I want to say it was like 2021-ish, called The Event Surrounding a Peeping Tom. And I just recently got word that that one should be released some point this year, which I'm super excited about because, like, we've waited a while. It is also it's a psychological thriller, So I enjoyed like something kind of like screwing with you a little bit. That one is basically like a fever dream of a movie, and I get to play a very interesting character in that too. I can't talk about it because NDAs and stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm very much looking forward to that one, and seeing it come to fruition because I mean it's the writing on that one was phenomenal as well.
Oh yeah. Well, you're in it, so I know I'm gonna watch it. uh, okay, so just gonna go off with your character's name because it's another badass character's name. Bad Bertha.
Bad Bertha. Oh my goodness.
And of course,
Oh,
we're talking about Heavy Duty Man.
heavy duty man. Oh my
Uh,
gosh, there's so many films that are near and dear to my heart. Like I feel like I've loved everything that I've done. And every person that I've encountered. But that one is the what I was referring to, the ominous character in the woods with me. Um he actually plays the bulked up version of HD Mac, and I end up dating him. So
uh, I mean, that's actually got quite a few. Like, it's got another. Everything you've been in has had a stacked cast.
hmm
That's God's honest truth. And the best part about that is you know, I don't see what Hollywood does. In Hollywood, it's like if you got Tom Cruise, then you can't have Brad Pitt because they're going to be battling for who's number one. But
hmm
in all the movies you've been in, it to me at least it didn't seem like anyone. And I'm a big behind the scenes kind of guy, so I watch all the special features. Doesn't
hmm
seem like anyone is battling for that, and
yeah,
that's awesome. You know,
yeah.
uh,
That's the way I prefer it to be, just cohesive, like us collaborating and enjoying what we're doing, and just like where it comes into like just doing something that you're passionate about.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Uh, Heavy Duty Man looks like it's going to be a really good movie.
hmm
But definitely also have a little bit more of a serious tone when certain aspects comes up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, but I am definitely wanting to see it. So,
Yeah, I'm excited for that one to come out too.
oh yeah. Uh, I think we're pretty much going to go through every one of your movies. I'm sorry. The next one, Heartbreaker.
Heartbreaker, yes.
You play Sherry.
Mhm.
Uh, so I saw the trailer for that, or the concept trailer for that. One of the two.
Mhm.
Either way, it looks good.
Yeah.
If you can just again brief synopsis and how your character plays in and what the audience can really be looking forward to.
Ooh. All right. So my role in this one is kind of like a little bit more compact of a role as well. But with this one, there is an escaped patient that terrorizes a town during Valentine's Day. I play a patron at a party that has a very fun end. And what
uh,
you can look forward to with this one is a lot of really good practical effects and really interesting kills.
oh yeah, that that's what sells it for me. It's like the cast, and if I know it's gonna have like I like CGI, but I think they go a little bit overboard with it.
I agree.
But I do think that when you're using a more hands-on approach with practical effects, that you show more of your passion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I actually agree with that.
Yeah, it's you like I said, you got a very awesome IMDb here that I'm looking at. So, yeah, there's another one that I just recently found out about called Grind, and you played Joey Scott.
Oh, Joey Scott. Oh,
Uh,
I loved
if,
her so much.
so if you could kind of again brief synopsis and how your character plays into it.
All right, brief synopsis of that one. Basically, these college students are putting on this Grindhouse Film Festival. and they end up finding a film, the forbidden film, so to say, that ends up possessing everyone.
All right.
So I play into that. I work at the theater as like, the concessions manager, basically. And that's kind of how I tie into it.
All right. Uh, well, the only movie that ever scared me does actually involve possession, but that was the original Exorcist. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 7 the first time I saw it. Once her head spins, I was like, "Yep, nope, that's not natural," and I left the room. Yeah, it scared me so much I didn't watch it fully until I was like 21. But then when I was watching it, I was like, "Damn, this is the edited or the unedited version." Now I'm getting the whole thing. I was like, didn't sleep for like a day. Yeah, but it's okay. uh, so I love those kinds of movies. Like Night of the Demons, and just things where you can get possessed, and it's
Mhm.
to me that is kind of like a meat and potatoes of what true horror comes from.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to Grind. Uh,
Yeah.
and I would again be amiss if I didn't mention another one that I know Shannon is also involved with, and that's Head on a Writer's Block.
Yes,
You play Paula, and
I
I think
do.
Bachelorette Party Massacre, I believe, is your segment.
Yes.
All right. So that's kind of like a anthology, kind of different stories.
Hmm.
Uh, so when you got approached to be in that film, and you got the script of the character you were going to play, what was going through your mind as you were reading
I was 100% in.
it?
Because, like, they gave me a little bit of, like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. This is the concept. And I was like, I'm in. Like, I'm in. Count me in. I'm in. I don't care what character I play. I'm in. But I love that in such a short amount of time, there are so many, like, little detail things, little twists and turns that, like, you don't expect. And it always impresses me with shorter films how much you can fit in those things that you watch again and you're like, oh man, I missed that the first time.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm a nerd like that because I watch the movies for the first time for pure entertainment, second time to see what I missed.
Hmm.
If you keep me coming back, you got something because I got movies in here I've watched one time and it's like, yeah, you're just collecting dust now. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about one more film and then we'll kind of just go on a whim and just talk about whatever.
Okay.
Uh, Clara West, you play that character in Deadly Endings.
I did.
Kind of again, brief synopsis and how your character plays in.
um this one I played a little tiny a smaller role this time, but it because this one's also an anthology as well. The segment that I was in involves Cheney Morrow, who is also going to be a black sheep. Um, he moves into a neighborhood, but he is harboring a very dark secret. He has a jerk of a neighbor who I am married to that gives him a really hard time. And as the story goes on, you really see like what secrets he's hiding and who the monsters actually are in that.
All right, definitely looking forward to that one too.
Yeah, that whole anthology is gonna be freaking phenomenal. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah. Uh, so let's take a minute and kind of. I'm gonna give you the floor. What advice would you give to anyone who's trying to get into the industry, whether it be acting, directing, just any facet of the entertainment world?
Any facet of the entertainment world, anybody that's starting, do it. If you're thinking about it, do it. Life is way too short. It, just try. If you have to really get used to rejection, which is very hard for someone like myself that is a people pleaser. And you get used to the rejections, you learn and you grow. And the best thing that I can really suggest is finding a good group of people, especially if you're in the horror community. I, again, am so impressed by the people that are around because they are so supportive. They are like nurturing and they'll help you along. And when you find your tribe, like you'll just continue growing and being blessed. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help people out as best I can because I mean, I'm still learning and growing and I'm going to still learn and grow to the day I die. So yeah, give yourself a shot, give it a go. You got this.
Oh yeah. Uh, so in quite a few of my other interviews and just episodes, I've always made mention of how I feel Hollywood has taken a back step while independent has kind of took the forefront. And it's not just in horror; it's just in everything. I mean, Honora just won, you know, what how many Oscars or something like that,
Yeah.
and which, by the way, was a phenomenal movie.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's good. That one, and believe it or not, the movie I'm about to say, I'm surprised I even watched it. But The Last Showgirl, starring Pamela Anderson.
I wanted to see that, man.
Uh,
Oh,
that was, my opinion, her best performance. Period.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was like very shocked. So, uh, but yeah, so with Hollywood taking a step back and independent kind of in the forefront now, I feel that the people who are taking charge of that are not just the directors and actors, but it's like every person in the independent scene, you know?
Hmm.
And in your opinion, what has made that shift happen to where, independent is definitely in the forefront, in my opinion. So, what would you say has made that happen, and how do you feel about that?
Um, I feel like the shift happened um because a lot of the stuff in Hollywood, while there's original ideas, a lot of stuff is like repeated. They want to remake this thing. And people, it's the same story just being recycled, just done by different actors with like a slightly different way. And I'm not speaking badly on those because I do enjoy those too, but like people want to see something new and different. They want to see people being creative. They want to see art like being art and not just something that's like recycled just for, entertainment purposes. Like we have other facets for that. So when somebody really wants to see art, they're more willing to support somebody that has unique visions and original content. They're willing to get behind that and, help that person because like in the independent community, we're not able to do it without the support of the people that, are sharing or donating or, you know, um, making posts, podcasting, that type of thing. We can't do it without each other. So I think that really like creates a big network for us to help push each other forward, basically. Like it's creatives supporting creatives.
No, yeah. I would like to take a moment real quick. Morgan Malam had a very serious accident, and there isn't GoFundMe up for her to kind of help get them back to where they need to be, her and her family. So I would like to say, and this is by any means not, no one asked me to do this. I'm doing this because I want to.
Mhm.
Everyone go to her page, please,
Yes,
Morgan Malam, and help donate, do whatever you can, share the post to help get this family back on their feet because things are really bad right now. But with our help, with our generosity, and with our caring and our loving, we can get them back to where they need to be.
absolutely.
Yeah.
They are an absolutely amazing family. I absolutely adore her. And I'm so grateful that they came out okay. But yeah, absolutely. Please go onto her page because I don't think they have a GoFundMe yet, but they have all of their links set up there. Every
Yeah.
little bit help. I mean, even if it's $1, like I know all of us are getting by. with expensive groceries and stuff. But if you can send a couple of bucks their way, please do. They're a wonderful family and they deserve our love and support too.
Okay. I had to do that. I'm sorry.
Oh no, don't apologize. Like I again, like I'm very supportive of everybody. I absolutely love Morgan and John. Like they're wonderful people. So yeah, please do.
Oh yeah. Uh, so all right, let's go back to the Hollywood and independent. Like Jamie Lee Curtis, Felissa Rose, and like Janet Leigh and all of them, they're all going to be scream queens in their own original right.
Hmm.
They did it on a fact of, in my opinion, as an avid movie watcher, they did it one to definitely put out something to where people were going to 100% enjoy the art that they did.
Hmm.
Let's talk about the scream queens of today, yourself included. It seems more organic with independent, and again, this ain't knocking any Hollywood people, but it seems more organic with independent actresses becoming scream queens for the simple fact because the passion you guys have outweighs, if I am wrong, you can correct me, but it outweighs the needs of what the masses need, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'm gonna look back on this and be like, "What the hell was you talking about? What?"
I'm picking up what you're putting down though.
But like, here we go. Killer Camp Out 2. Every actress on that film, from top to bottom, in my opinion, is a scream queen.
Hmm.
In their own right. And you guys have all gone off and did your own things, but you left a stamp in the entertainment world to where it's like, I did this and it defined me for this.
Hmm.
Now, I'm gonna be honest though, like I thought you were a scream queen all the way back in Bloody Summer Camp when I first saw you. That's just my opinion.
Thank you. Yeah.
But what do you think encompasses a scream queen in today's entertainment world?
I think you pretty much hit it. I think a lot of us do it for the passion, the creativity, the art, and we're not bothered about having a status. And I feel like that's where it kind of gets a little funky with like people that are, you know, high paid celebrities. I mean, obviously, some of them do it for the passion, but others see a paycheck and they're just like, "Woo, let's do this thing." Some of us, like, we've done projects where we don't get paid, but we still put our heart, soul, and ass into it. And like, you know, I think that speaks volumes because for us, it's about the art, and it's not about a paycheck.
One more thing about Hollywood and independent. I think the direction of independent has gone off. It started as a foot race. Hollywood was definitely winning back in the day. I want to say
Hmm.
probably all the way up until like 2000. But once 2000 hit, independent started taking off. You
Hmm.
know, but I think what really put it into overdrive was right up into, through, and after COVID because Hollywood had to shut down.
Yeah.
Independent was like, this is where we take the lead.
Hmm.
And I want to say you guys are miles ahead of Hollywood, just my opinion. And I love film, but I think that, do I want to sit down and watch another Marvel movie? I love Marvel.
Yeah.
Or do I want to sit down and watch something more original, possibly see some cast that I've never seen before? I want to go with the new originals and the new people, you know,
Yeah.
especially since Marvel really went downhill after Endgame. But whatever.
I do. Yes. We could have a whole podcast about
Oh yeah.
that.
Uh, but I want to ask, what is the number one thing that keeps you driving and going forward and just wanting to continue putting out the art that you're putting out?
Um, a lot of it is the fans. Um, I just I enjoy doing this for them. Like, like it's not just a self-driven thing because like I want to continue to get better, but like I also just want to experience so many different facets of myself and be able to share that with the world and let people enjoy it or learn to hate me as I play a villain, Because there's a lot of layers to each actor and actress. And the fact that I get to share that with somebody that enjoys it, like just I don't know, it's like it's a different way of being an artist and being able to like show the world like what you're capable of. And especially to have somebody enjoy the things that you do, like it's rewarding and very cool that you get to share an experience. And especially like you were saying earlier, like where you watch something and like you relate to it, like you feel something from it. Those are the types of roles that I really enjoy the most is being able to like take those pieces of myself. They're not always pretty. Sometimes I'm like bawling and screaming over somebody dying or I'm playing, a character that has like jealousy issues and rage issues and stuff. But like there's so many layers to it and there's so many layers to each person that is watching it. So like if a person can see their self and be encouraged by just simply being seen from something I've done, then I've done my job.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm going to make another analogy, and it is meant to 100% be, a compliment. Uh, so I like to take the analogies of certain genres or certain entertainment facets. Like I always say, I'm talking to my wife, I'm like, this person acts like this person can sing, you know? And again, this is supposed to be a compliment, and I hope you take it as that. You are to movies what Celine Dion is to music.
That is the biggest compliment ever.
That's the God's honest truth. Like every time I see you on screen, I'm like, damn, I'm about to get something really good, something that's going to be, I'm going to remember, and there's going to be some emotion to it, you know?
Yeah,
But
thank you.
that's the God's honest truth. Trust me. I don't just, I mean, I try to be a nice guy, but I just don't spit out compliments to just everybody. Trust me, if you knew me in real life, you'd be like, yeah, you're an ass. But I mean, that's what my wife calls me. So, but we've been together 17 years, but no, it's just like, all right. So, Tim Howe, awesome dude.
Mhm.
Carly Sonnenfeld, who, again, phenomenal. And I actually get to work with her too on the same film, Not There.
So
I mean,
excited.
it, Shannon Atkins, Chris
Hmm.
Ridings, I mean, Amanda Megan, Amanda Howell,
Hmm.
like that entire cast that we have connected to Not There, top to bottom. I was talking to my wife the other day and I started getting emotional because I was like, all you guys new and established have taken time out to help me, you
Yeah.
know. And the thing is you didn't have to,
Yeah.
and I'm so grateful. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we believe in your vision, and I think it's cool that we get to help your vision come to life, to
uh,
be super, super proud of yourself.
I appreciate that. Thank you. uh, this ain't about me though. This is about you. uh, but there's certain people in movies that will always have a mark on the entertainment world. Then there's people who don't. I won't mention none of them. I can mention a lot of them, but I won't. But I want to say you have left a mark. And not just myself. My wife has seen some of your movies. My brother, I've had watch parties for Killer Camp Out too.
Oh, that's so cool.
And like my own little circle of friends, they all enjoyed it. They all have taken away something different from each character.
Hmm.
And you, I'm not gonna lie. So the two out of Killer Camp Out that kind of stood out to some of the others, like every character stood out to me, was your character and Melissa Sapienza's character.
Yeah.
Which I had her on, and she's phenomenal too.
I adore her.
But I just want you to know that we appreciate you for who you are and for
Thank
what you do.
you.
Yeah. All right. I swear this has turned into an Oprah Winfrey show, but no,
I know, right?
I just don't give away free cars. uh, but no,
We'll
that's
work on that for next time.
right. But we are getting ready to come to the end of the show. Uh, but I want to give you the floor for a couple minutes. Plug your socials where people can see your movies, where they can reach out to you or not. That's entirely up to you. And just plug whatever you want to plug.
Absolutely. All right. I think we talked about pretty much every film that I have coming up. There are a couple that are not listed on IMDb. One is Fur. There is Carnivator, which I will be working on in July. Um, Let me see. The Sibylla 6 is not on IMDb as of yet, but that also stars Shannon Atkins as well as her directing it. Phenomenal. Just the entire cast is absolutely phenomenal on that. Um, so you guys can find me on Facebook under my name, Chanda Rawlings. You can find me on Instagram under Spot of Sunshine, spelled with a C. And I think on my Facebook, at the very top, it says all my links. It is literally all of my links. So you can click that and get in touch with me if you need to. There's links in there to my films that are on streaming services. I think I put all the free ones on there. There are some that you still have to rent via Amazon, but I don't think I have those linked on there. I'll work on that. But I'm pretty easy to find. I am pretty laid back and I'm always willing to help where I can. So I love you guys. Thank you for your love and support.
Oh yeah. Uh, I normally end the show saying everyone stay in NC-17, but because I knew you were coming on and I did a little bit of research, I want to end it on a different note. The dreams that you have should always be fulfilled, whether you're coming from a small town girl to a Hollywood actress. Whatever your dream is, you are the ruler of your destination. And if you want to be something, be it. Yeah. And with that, I will say, Miss Chanda Rawlings, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sorry to make you cry a couple times.
I'm sorry to make you cry too.
Yeah. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. I get emotional when I'm not gonna finish that because I sound like an idiot, but I get emotional sometimes.
Yes.
But you have been an all-star, a rock star, any kind of star you can name that's good, except for a falling star. uh and again, I thank you for the entertainment and the enjoyment you put out into the world because we all get to enjoy it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're most welcome. And I tell everybody when you come on this show, you have a home with NC-17 anytime you want to come back on, whether it be to plug a movie, talk about movies, or just to say, Josh, you got a booger in your nose. I clean it out every day though, so. But I do want to thank you for coming on, and I've took an hour and a half of your time, and I do apologize.
Oh, don't at all. I'm glad to be on here. This is really fun.
All right. Well, it's been an honor. You know. And is there anything you'd like to say before we go?
Thank you guys for everything. Keep following your dreams. You'll get there.
There you go. Follow the dreams, make it happen, because only you can do that. Everybody, until next time, stay NC-17.